All right, so I want to talk to you about user programs and one of the functions you can edit, which is the MIDI send function. All right, so first of all, the Roland, the 4X has user programs, and that's turned on by this button right here, which says user programs. And then there are 7 banks, which is represented by the first number in the LED. And then the second number is the registration. There's 14 registration for each of the 7 banks. So you have a total of 98 separate registrations. Now, one of the parameters that can be edited in each of the 98 registers is called the MIDI octave, and you can go -3. So for example, on my editor software, you see natural piano. There's 2 octaves within this group, this page. There's first of all, on this page, there's 5 tabs. The first one is tone selection, effects send, sound edit control, and MIDI. So what I want to concentrate on today is this last tab to the right called MIDI. And what this shows you, I'm going to turn off the volume on my 4X so that you can't hear the sounds or the voices on the 4X, but I'm going to play the voices on the arranger I have connected and which I'm controlling with the 4X. In this case, it's an SD90, a Ketron SD90. At any rate, so you can see on this page, under octave, you can see if you hit that window, you can go +3 or -3 octaves. Okay, so that's where you would adjust what I'm talking about today, which is the octaves that you're sending. So this is important because in an application, whereas you're controlling the right-hand voice of your arranger with the accordion as a controller, you're going to want consistency throughout all the 14 registers on a particular bank. In other words, you're not going to want to change from register 1 to 5, let's say, and all of a sudden the octave message you're sending to your arranger is going to change so that that piano on your Ketron or arranger, the octave is going to change. You want it to be consistent. So one way to ensure that the MIDI octave message signal is consistent throughout the 14 registers of a particular bank is, first of all, turn off the volume of your FR4X, turn it to 0. And then secondly, play the same note on your treble, in this case a middle C or a C4. And then as you're playing it, you go through the different registers. So there's registers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that piano, that sound that I'm sending is the same through all those registers. Now let's go to a bank that maybe I'll show you where they're not consistent. Let's go to bank 2. I didn't get to this one yet, so I'm going to hit the C. I'm going to hit register 1. See where that octave went up? And I don't want that. I want it to be the same all the way up and down. All right, so it timed out here. I got to go back in. Sorry about this. I think it's because I have my cameras and I don't have enough juice on my computer. My computer's not strong enough. It's time for an updated computer. All right, so that octave on that piano was a little high, so we're going to go into the editor as soon as this loads up. My computer is not that fast. I just edited out a section where it was doing. Anyways, on the acoustic piano, you're going to hit that, and then make sure you don't want to be on this first tab, tone selection, because that affects the octave on the accordion. We're not concerning ourselves with the accordion octave right now. We just want to make sure that that is consistent, the MIDI signal. So we go over to the last tab, and because the octave was high, we're going to come to this, and we're going to go down -1. So we're going to hit the C again, and that's what we want. Now, the last step in this process is to save that setting, because if you didn't save it, you're going to be wasting the time. So you go to Tools, and you say Write User Program. Make sure that it's the bank you're changing or editing, in this case bank to number 1, and just hit write. Okay? And that's it. All right, now we're going to go to the second register in 2. Going to hit that note. Oh, that's high too. So we're going to do the same thing. We're in bank 2, register 2, and we're going to make sure we're in the last tab MIDI, and it was a little high, so we're going to drop it down -1, and we're going to X out, and we're going to save it by going to Tools, Write User Program, and Write. And it says, do you want to overwrite it? You say yes, and in a second it's done. All right, so I hope that helps. Not everybody's is going to be affected by this information, but those of you that are, or you think you will be using an arranger down the road, this is something that you should be aware of. All right, thanks for watching.